It's still happy hour with John Gaskins. This round's on me.
It doesn't really get any more jackrabbit football than this guy. He was one of the favorite chats we had our first time around the sun here on Happy Hour, and he's back ahead of a huge event for the Jackrabbit Former Players Association, of which he is the president and founder. And we're just a couple months from football season. It's getting that time. We're getting ready.
You can feel it. It's getting there.
We can. He's was an All-America center. Some formative years in the FCS with John Stiegelmeier in the trailer days at Coughlin Alumni Stadium. And he's well connected with a bunch of guys who came before him 50, 60 years ahead, and certainly all the dudes now, the guys who have won the national championships and who are still competing for them. And it's just great to have Ryan McKnight, Pride of Sioux Falls, Washington, and SDSU. Cheers. We're at Gateway Lounge today, and I studied up a little bit by listening to our conversation from last year. And I had a Corona premiere, and I just thought it went so well. I'm not a superstitious guy, but I'm going to do the Corona premiere again today. And you did a Pabst Light. You got the Pabst Heavy today.
Yeah, I think it was on me. I think I misspoke when I got it. But PBR is a good beer, though. I mean, it's a really good beer. And
yes, of course it is.
Can't beat that at all. So
no. And so you were asking me, like, you really like the Corona Premier. I said, well, I do. I do like a good Mexican lager, and I've always liked the Corona Light, and now it's Premier. But just it's something about the familiarity of doing this. So here we are. And you are in the middle of moving. You're getting ready for a big event next week. But you're still up in Brookings.
Yep.
And by the way, just to review, you're still a lawyer.
Still a lawyer.
Teaching law at SDSU.
Yep.
As a lecturer.
My wife and I both do that. Yeah, we both teach law in the business school up there.
Yeah. And you have a storage business.
We have
What's
some
it
storage,
called?
extra space storage.
Yeah.
We are a jack of all trades. We don't like to slow down at all.
You're probably having to use some of that storage right now because you're moving, right?
Yeah, and that was, you would think like, oh, that's a really good thing. You could have a storage spot. There's a unit open.
Yeah.
We're completely full. So
Yeah.
we had nothing, so we were stacking stuff. And huge shout out to Trademark Homes, Eric Christensen, who GC'd our house because he let us get some stuff in the garage early. And he's obviously a big supporter of Jack's athletics and Jack's football. Great dude. And moving is terrible. John. Next time I move is going to be into a pine box because I'm not doing that ever again.
Yeah,
That's terrible.
Yeah. We did it over the first of the year in the dead of winter. And it wasn't smart. It's not. We just kind of got the notion to move into Sioux Falls by October, and so it wasn't until December we found a place. But it was a good place, so I hope you found a place that you love and it's going to be worth the move. So.
It is. It's really good for our kids. Our kids have a bunch of friends out there, so it's kind of fun to fun at night when all the girls are out running around. So we didn't have that at our old house, so now we do, and it's kind of it's a good reprieve. I'll put it that way.
How do you like living in Brookings, and how long have you lived there?
Yeah, I would say Brookings to me feels almost more at home than Sioux Falls. So obviously I graduated high school in 06, minus a couple years in Vermilion, minus a year out west. We've always lived in Brookings, and so I love it. Great community, great town. Like the businesses up there, I mean, they're all about Jack's football, and they all about Jack's athletics, and it's a little bit slower pace. And I was telling Mayor Tenhaken about this diverging diamonds. I'm like, man, can we just have a simple left turn and a right turn? But I'll leave it to the engineers and the smart people to figure that stuff out.
I'll tell you, because it's right out here by the gateway, and I think it's a different, better world.
Yeah,
it is. Having had to wait at those traffic lights, they know what they're doing. But I know what you mean. We talked about this last time. The crazy Sioux Falls City traffic just gets to you.
Don't get me started.
It's definitely certain times of day.
Yeah.
It is not Minneapolis. It's not New York City, but there are certain times of the day where it's just it's not so much crazy drivers. Not that there aren't. It's the waiting at lights 2, 3, 4 times over. I get it. But let's dive into your big event. It's a JFPA summer football and cheer.
Yep.
Is it a camp? What's it called?
Yeah, it's a JFPA youth and cheer camp.
Thank you.
And so, in short, a couple years back, I'll give a shout out to Ryan McKnight for coming up with the idea. But we always have our golf tournament the last Saturday in June.
Okay.
And
are you doing that again this year?
Oh, yeah. Down
Okay.
out at Grand Falls Casino. It's a really good time. We're already at 33 teams, and so we'll probably hit 40 golf teams this year, which is fun. But what we realized, there's a lot of youth in Sioux Falls that if you put on a camp, they would show up and just to meet the players and kind of have a way to connect the Brookings community with the Sioux Falls community.
Yeah.
And so the first year we did it, I bet we had 100 kids sign up, and now we're already at 250, 260. And a lot of those kids now, they come there because we have all these NFL dudes coming back. Mm-hmm. And what a cool way for those guys to get back to the community, but also show up to support Jack's athletics. Just awesome young men. So, yeah, it's always a fun it's a good camp. Shout out to our big sponsor, Shields. They do a great job giving us a bunch of water bottles and drinks and whatever to really help the kids out. And so the kids come there. This year we paired it with the cheer camp. So all proceeds, if you have a daughter who wants to go cheer, hey, look, you're going to bring down the SDSU cheerleaders because they're there to support us every single home game, rain, sleet, snow, or hail. They're always there. And so they're going to partner with us this year, and we're going to put together a camp. I think you get a shirt if you are going to the cheer camp. If you come to the football camp, I know Coach Jackson's bringing down all the coaches, a lot of players, a lot of NFL guys, and you get a football this year, so you get another autograph session. So it's just a really cool thing.
5:30 on Friday, June 26th.
Yep.
And proceeds are going to. You've mentioned one place, but
yeah.
Where people's money going?
If you donate or if you sign your kid up for the cheer, it's all going to the cheer girls.
Cool.
All going to the cheerleaders. If you sign up for football, it's all going to football. So it's kind of a cool way for us to give back. It's a cool way for us to say thank you to the cheer squad.
Yeah.
But it makes a difference.
Okay, so it's going to those programs.
Yep.
It's not going to the JFPA.
No.
Yeah.
Nope.
You guys are just but it's organized by you guys.
Correct.
This again, we went through some of the JFPA 101 last year, and we went basically through Ryan McKnight's life story to learn about his days playing for Kim Nelson and Brian Hermanson at Washington, and then Stig and Luke Meadows and all the fellas up at South Dakota State. The near win over the Gophers your senior year, I know it still stings, but that also was the very first time the Jackrabbits made the NCAA FCS playoffs. I mean, some big names, some big teams, some great memories. And so if you want to Google it back to 2025, Happy Hour, Ryan McKnight, I just Googled it today, found it. And we can learn more about your personal journey, but also, we did walk through kind of what is the JFPA and how did it start. And for one, again, you can go back to that, but also the Stig book came out, Stig and the Rise of South Dakota State Football, Tanner Castora. I read that a few months ago because I promised myself and Stig I wasn't going to interview him again until I read the book. It's really, it's almost like an encyclopedia history book of SDSU as much as it is a biography about Stig. And so you're a part of it for sure, both the time that you played and then getting this thing going, the JFPA. And so I don't mind doing it again, just kind of these two events, this football and cheer event on Friday night, and then the golf is on Saturday again. And what's the golf raising money for?
All for football.
All for football.
All proceeds go back to football.
Hey.
It's a really, really great deal.
Don't know if anybody knows this about college football these days, but it costs a lot of money to play and to operate and to be competitive. So these are some big events for Jackrabbits and Jackrabbit fans. But yeah, again, explain how this all got started and why it was why you took it upon yourself to start the Jackrabbit Former Players Association.
Yeah, and I appreciate the opportunity. And Tanner did a fantastic job in that book.
He sure did. That took a lot of time.
I'll give him a lot of credit. Yeah. And as you were kind of talking about raising money, if you have you want to be a whole sponsor for a golf tournament, it doesn't really matter to us. Terry Nemitz at Outlaw Graphics does all the signs, so it'll look really cool. It just makes a difference because all that proceeds, they all go back to football. And so you flash back to 2018 where we didn't have a tailgate, we didn't have really any sort of network or mentorship program, none of that stuff. And you made your best friends up here, like I alluded to in 2025. You have all these connections, all these stories. And I wanted to make sure when we started the JFPA that those guys don't get forgotten because it's pretty simple. Pierre Strong's in the NFL, he's crushing it, awesome young man. But then you forget, Zach Zenner was really good too, or Brady Mangarelli, or Kyle Monette, or Trevor Hone. Like all these guys, I want to make sure that those guys don't get forgotten, and I want to make sure that you have this resource and this network of guys that will come back and support and care, because that is our team. I don't care about any other college football team out there. I just care about the Jackrabbits, and I think there's a lot of guys that are like me who feel that same way. And as a result, how do we savor that? How do we keep that? But more importantly, when this whole thing shifts into the new conferences and new alignments, well, we got to be ready. Well, one way to be ready is you have your alumni base ready, willing, and able to step up and be a part of it. And I don't know how many different schools I've talked to in the last 5-6 months. I know Northern Arizona, Montana, Northern Michigan. How do you start something like this? And you could give them all the blueprint, but like Jackrabbit football is special. Like, there's a lot of guys who truly care about that blue and yellow. And as soon as you just give them one little ounce of, like, hey, you're making a difference, you're making an impact on this kid's life, it's over. I mean, they love it. They buy in every year. It's really cool. And so, yeah, very long story short, it's a fraternity of old guys who really want to help out the young guys and help out SDSU football.
Yeah, there you go. And by the way, for either the football, well, let's talk about the camp to get even more people signed up. Who are some of the names? Drop the names of who are some of those dudes that are going to be back for this.
I should have. Thank you for bringing this up. I know.
I should have asked you.
I know Pierre
ago.
Strong. I know Isaiah Davis. Mason McCormick. He'll always be. He's just a staple of this place. I know Mark Ranowski's trying to make it back. I know same thing with Dallas Goddard's trying to make it back. Christian Roseboom's having his kid, so he can't make it back. And I know Tucker Kraft is kind of in that fluctuation of can he make it back or not. But those are some hammers in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, this isn't like we're bringing back some random person from the XFL. Like, this is a really cool thing. And on top of that, too, Chase Mason will be down here teaching. Logan Green will be down here teaching. Reese Kirschman. There's a lot of guys that they care about the youth and they care about the football team and they care about this connection between Brookings and Sioux Falls. And yeah, so it's going to be a really fun camp.
Yeah. Got to keep it going. I mean, it seems like a freight train that's been rolling pretty sweet the last 15, 20 years, but you never know.
You never know.
Look to the south in Lincoln where things can,
And how's that have an impact on the university then too?
Yeah.
And I know Nebraska is Nebraska, and there's a reason why they don't want to schedule us, and that's just the truth.
They don't want to schedule anybody. They're afraid to schedule Tennessee.
No, I know.
Or they dropped Tennessee.
And if you start having losing records, like that has an impact on enrollment. That has an impact on the community and whatever. And so, like, part of what our initiative of, there's really cool things we're doing with the football program, but maybe more importantly, we're also looking at, hey, we care about this community, care about this town. Let's keep us being solid.
Well, I mean, there are certain football programs / universities. I think Nebraska and SDSU are two fine examples of where the university and its leadership and to a certain degree alumni and fans, but mainly alumni, people who actually attended school there, and I'm one of them down there. Where you're okay with a big part of the identity of the school being not just sports, but football.
Yeah.
Some schools aren't okay with that. Some are less okay with that than others. They don't want to be. We're an academic institution, and it's okay to be both. And the ones that, and I'm not saying this is the right way or the wrong way, but the ones that embrace it, like SDSU, they see it as a window. They see football as a window to the university. You get on college game day, or your men's basketball team gets there on Selection Sunday and plays a game in March Madness, women as well. And, hey, maybe your football team someday is playing in the Mountain West Conference or somewhere like that. And you just mentioned the word enrollment. I mean, it's one way of people realizing you exist, and the people who already know you exist wanting to be a part of that.
And I give a huge shout out to President Dunn and AD Sell just for getting, at least we've gotten lucky to have the visionary and say, hey, look, let's go all in on football. Let's go all in on, and I would say all of athletics, but more importantly, the football side of this matters. And let's find a way to keep this ball kind of hot and rolling downhill and making sure that we keep bringing in the big 20,000 fans every single Saturday and keep having this, cool splashes and some cool stuff that's going to be happening this year at game day experience. So give a huge shout out to them. We got really lucky having a good president and a good athletic director who see this and have the vision to keep changing in the ever-changing landscape of college athletics.
We might cross that bridge before we're done talking to you today, but it's been a year since the Jackrabbits played a little football, so I went back and listened, and it wasn't an argument. I just decided to play devil's advocate. You just thought, basically a new team, a brand new coaching staff, and it was going to be same old Jackrabbits. You were really pumped, and partly because you knew of the bonds that had formed with the guys that stayed, and the guys that were coming in, and Chase Mason obviously, and Dan Jackson's the right hire, all that QC, and I was kind of like, well. It's a lot of new things to put together, and even these guys who have been there are learning new systems. And you were right. They barged out 7-0. They beat the eventual national champion on their home field.
Yeah.
And then lumps came where kind of maybe a lack of depth was exposed, or who knows. Chase gets hurt. Chase Van Tol, the best player on both sides of the ball, they get hurt, and the wheels fall off for 4 games. They put it all back together and beat UND and win a playoff game, and then go to Montana. So it was kind of what. How did you see that whole thing? Is that a down year, 9-5?
That's a very good question, John. I remember the conversation very well because there were a lot of new faces, and there's people coming and going, and all these different transfer spots. I get it. I would say for us, just as a shift, we didn't win a national title, so it was a down year, and that's a standard that SCSU is now set of wins and losses. Did you win a title or not? And how you win the title is you go 1-0. And I think for the first 7 games, we looked really good. And it's crazy to think what an injury can do or injuries can do, but that's why you play the game. That's why you don't just use it paper, like, hey, look, these are all of our studs. No, you play the game to see how it shakes out. And I would say, again, huge shout-out to Coach Jackson for just getting the right coaches here and the right players here. And yeah, you know what, we had some injuries. Yeah, we had some tragedies. Yeah, we had some ups and downs. But now we finally restored that depth. We finally got the depth back. We got the young kids now who are here, who stayed. They are much different, much more. They look really good. I mean, they're just bigger kids. Now they know the system. Yeah. I think the sky's the limit again.
Yeah. I mean, you're living there, so, you're pretty well connected. You know Dan pretty well. So what's kind of you've kind of skimmed the surface here. What are some other things that you know or seeing or feeling or names that we know we're going to be hearing and watching that we're going to get it back to where it's been?
I would say our offensive line looks amazing. We got a couple transfers in that we needed. We got some guys coming back from injuries. I know Big Bo will be back here soon. I mean, we just have so much more depth than what we had. I know. Again, I'm an O-line guy. I know games won and lost in the trenches, and so I
love how you started there.
That's all that matters. Yeah. Otherwise, you might as well be playing 7-on-7. But nonetheless, that's our O-line's be solid. I think Chase Mason he's just an awesome kid, but 2, he's a hell of an athlete, and now I think he feels more comfortable under center. I feel like he feels more comfortable calling the plays, and give him 1 year, with Eidsness, and that's typically what happens. I would say running back, Josiah. What I don't want to do is I don't want to give out names, and then all of a sudden everyone's just going to be pigeonholing those names. Not like I'm saying I really matter, but I do think our running back game will be better. I think one name that you're going to look at and say, man, this guy had a hell of a year, Reese Kirschman.
Sure.
I'd say him and Dawson, too. Him and Rip, they'll tear it up. I mean, just having him healthy, because remember, he tore his pec in the Montana State game. Mm-hmm. I think Logan Green, if you see him, he looks like the Hulk. I mean, he's a monstrous human being. I don't know. There's just so many guys now that, you see finally got some playing time, and now they feel better. They look good.
Chase Van Tol.
He
gets back. I mean, I mean, not that it seems like the 3 defensive linemen you've listed are going to be making a ton of mistakes. But should they, you got that guy out there to clean
Cullen
it up.
Machine is back. I mean, there's so much depth now at these positions where what made us good for those long runs was we had rotations. We had guys being able to come in with fresh legs, and now we actually have that. I'm not saying we didn't have that last year, but we did, but it wasn't – they were ready, but new schemes, new systems, all that stuff, a lot of pressure on them. This year, I I think the sky's the limit here.
Was it besides the depth and some of the best players getting hurt last year? What else was it? Was it just a lot of newness? Did you see players not playing as fast as you've been used to seeing some SDSU teams the last few years?
Coach Meadows, and I'll give a shout to him because he developed me into being a good offensive lineman, and he always had this mentality, the KISS mentality, keep it simple, stupid. Well, oftentimes when you shift a brand new offense, I'm not saying it was completely brand new, but there's a lot of new working parts and new working pieces. And if you're thinking about, hey, do I have to block this guy or do I have to run this post or that, you're not playing fast. And if you're thinking you're not playing fast, you're off by half a second. That stuff matters. And now having one full year under the belt, this is how ISIS does things. This is how the running backs do the handoffs. Deontay Cooper as a recruiting coordinator has done a terrific job. I just think now we're playing fast. You can play fast, you can play physical. You do both of those things very well. There's not a lot of teams that are going to beat you.
Yeah. And what about Dan? Again, you know him very well, and he's wonderful whenever he comes on and talks to us. He's illuminating. He gives insight. And he was a rookie head coach, not just at SDSU.
Yeah.
But in general, he admitted he made some mistakes, and he had a lot of his own eye roll moments, like, I can't believe I did that. I can't believe I forgot or didn't do that. What did you see? What do you anticipate the second time around?
I think the world of Dan Jackson.
Yeah.
He was the perfect fit for this head coach. And I think the guys have rallied. Now everyone knows what to expect, and everyone knows who the head coach is, and they understand the standard. And from my perspective, did he make some mistakes? He might say this.
I wouldn't really know what they were.
I know, same here. And so, like, for me, I was taking this team after this huge transition while moving with a wife and, like, building a house and doing all this stuff. Like, I don't know how you even got any sleep in. And so what he did to transform this, and now you give him 1 year of just settling down, slowing down, I think he is amped up. I just talked to him the other day for about an hour. He's ready. He's ready for the season. And now I think the game's going to slow down for him even, where maybe those mistakes that he said that I didn't even see, he won't do it again. And I think the coaching staff got better, too, with it because now they're meshed. They have a whole year together. Those guys are, like, really good friends. And I think being a really good friends on the coaching staff, that correlates very well to being really good friends in the football team. It gets guys to feel comfortable and have them play fast.
There you go. What did you make of the schedule when you saw it come out?
You know,
not that I'm asking you if you have it memorized.
No, I know the first game, Stetson. Stetson, Northwestern, New Haven, was it Eastern Illinois or Youngstown? I would say it's going to be a tough schedule. It's going to be hard just because the standards now set of even having the team up north leave kind of put all the spotlight on us now. Like, hey, what are you guys going to do? Now, you know, they're not there. What are you guys going to do? Even though we've been beating them, what are you guys going to do now? Because now they're at the Mountain West. And so I think it's going to be a tough schedule. I don't think there's going to be any really easy cupcake games. But at the end of the day, like we talked about earlier, all right, well, the goal is to win a title. How do you do that? Just go 1-0. So opponent 1 comes up, was it August 27th or 28th, whatever it is, and 29th.
Yeah, I mean, I'll tell you, just as someone who is borderline obsessed with schedules and how they lay out and play out, you're not wrong about the opponents, although it really is nice not to have North Dakota State on there. I know as competitors, so you make that face, and that's the same thing Dan says, and you know the fans truly will miss it. But it is a nice kind of, okay, it's a bit of a breather that you don't have to play them. But you know, I mean, Youngstown State has supposedly the
really good quarterback,
Peyton Player of the Year, the quarterback. That's a home game, and it comes after you play New Haven, which should be one of your wins in the bag. You know, you got to go play the money game at Northwestern, and few will expect the Jacks to win that game. But it comes after you play Stetson, the lowest rated Sangarin FCS team last year. You got to play at Illinois State, which was the national runner-up last year, and I haven't dug in to see how many have returned from that team. But it comes right after you play Eastern Illinois, another really bad team last year. And then after Illinois State, oh my gosh, you have to go to UND. But guess what? There's a bye week in between those games. So, and then before you play USD at home, you get to play Murray State at home. So before you play at Southern Illinois to end the year, you go to Northern Iowa. Not an easy place to play, but they're not the Fighting Mark Farleys anymore. So and before you hit the playoffs, whether there's going to be a bye or not, your last game is against Indiana State, and I know that was a loss. And I'm sure you're loading up with your artillery to come back at me. But my point is that's of just going that's a win. But what I'm saying is. Dan loves the bye week right in the middle of the season for one. Yeah. Six in, you're going to get banged up, but you're going to get fresh down the stretch. And what I saw was you don't have any of the real murderers row games back-to-back weeks.
About time for us, though, right? Because we've had those for 15 years straight of it, which is good. To be the man, you got to beat the man. Yes. So it's been. I'd make the argument I wish we had both Montana schools on there. I wish we had all this. But at the same time, kudos to Coach Jackson and the athletic director Sell for getting a schedule where it's all Division I games. We don't want any of those D2 games in there now. So we
were biting the nails over that opening game. They did get an FCS.
And my thought, that's what you want, right?
Yeah.
This is where we got a good home slate. We should go undefeated at home. We will go undefeated at home, but we should definitely go undefeated at home. We got some tough road games with Northwestern. Sure enough, UNI, no matter what, they always give us their best effort. They always do. But it's the Missouri Valley, so you know what to expect with some of these schools. And, I'm just happy it's all D1 games. That's my biggest thing. And opponent one, whoever the Stetson – what's their mascot?
Oh, good question. Yeah, we got a producer who's gonna budge into that. Yeah. How excited are you for the Northwestern game? Are you going to go? If you had the opportunity to tell these players about that road game in a Big Ten house, you did it.
Yeah.
With the Gophers, gave them a game to the very end.
God, I had one bad snap back in the end that hit Thomas O'Brien in the shins, and that's what if you actually wanted to look it up, it's a true story.
Yeah.
We lost by 3. But even when we played Nebraska in 10,
fourth quarter game.
Lost by 2 touchdowns. We had 2 touchdowns called back. We plan on going down. Absolutely going to go down there.
Yeah.
Have a great tailgate, whatever. And I would say for a lot of these kids, and I know it's the same. Hey, you're not good enough to play in the Big Ten. Well, Evan Bernstein went down there last year and started. He was an all-conference guy. So the level of football now. It's not that much different anymore. Yeah. Back in the day, maybe. But today, all these guys that are going to go down, you got picked over. They have a whole bunch of other stuff that we don't have. They're not any better than you. Yeah. Maybe on paper they might look better, might look more appealing, but at the end of the day, Evan goes down there, has a hell of a year.
Illinois, yeah.
And hey, it's there's not that much different anymore.
Right. Well,
the Mad Hatters, okay.
The Mad Hatters, I love it.
I should have thought about that. I guess that makes some sense.
That's a good one.
Makes some sense.
And Griffin Wilde was one of the top 10 receivers in the Big Ten, arguably last year, and he's back. And you mentioned it again, Minnesota game 15 years ago. You didn't sense much of a difference. They would bring in some fresh legs later in the game.
Bingo.
You had some new guys who were not worn down that you had the block, and while you guys were playing the whole game. And that was that's always kind of been one of the top 2 or 3 differences between those 2 levels. But that's going to be an exciting opportunity. So let's get to what you how you reacted when you saw North Dakota State making the move.
To me, it was. I know I've known for years they've been trying to get up there, and good for them if their fan base wanted it. It is what it is. To me, what I was most mad about though, is they have the Rock. And that's a one thing that if we would have beat them last year, the Rock would have kept here. Fine, go play with some new friends in a different conference. It doesn't really bother me, but the fact that you have the Rock and it's there forever. But if you could look at it from a glass half full side of, all right, well they'll do it, and I will bet you dollars to donuts that they will probably win every single game. They will be favored, if not win every single game, just because that's the level of football that we have at the FCS. And there's a reason why the Mountain West would never schedule any of our Missouri Valley schools.
Right.
And I'm not trying to take anything away from them.
Dan's mentioned that.
Yeah, and so I will give NDSU credit. They will go up there. They'll probably run the table. Good for them. But that does give us some. Hey, look, we could be there too, and we will be. Eventually, we'll have to. I just don't know how much longer the FCS can sustain this, because pretty soon the Montana schools will jump up too, or you see Tarleton State talking about jumping up. At some point, that'll be us as well.
Yeah, I mean, so do you feel like that's something you have to do? And if you have to do it, then why do you feel like you have to do it?
I would say, from a money standpoint, from a money perspective, you have to. I would also say a lot of these universities, most people don't realize this, but there is an enrollment cliff that just happened where 18 years ago people stopped having as many kids, and so in order for you to stay competitive, in order for you to get kids to come here, like it's a major concern in higher ed. Well, what do you got to do? I mean, is it jumping up? Is it bringing in bigger opponents? Is it having bigger splashes? Whatever it is, that's a huge issue. And so one of the big issues for SDSU, all right, man, we play outdoor football. You will get playoff games up here. You'll get all this kind of fun stuff. Then all of a sudden, is it jumping up, and is it to the right conference? Because, I don't know, as a player, I couldn't imagine flying out to Hawaii. And obviously you come back the next day, but as you're back here, that's like a midnight kick. And then, I don't know. It's just, I want to make sure we're in the right conference. I want to make sure we do it the right way. And I won't take anything away from NDSU. I'll give them credit for jumping up. And now it's on us to go to Nashville 1. And then from there, we'll see how it shakes out.
What do you think would be the right conference?
What I would love is if Hawaii would join the Pac-12, and then all of a sudden, like, the Mountain West is a really good conference. I mean, it's all regional schools. Yeah, you'd fly there, but I would say the Mountain West, just because the structure and the character of it. Yeah. The money in the Big Ten, we just don't have that. So no, in the Big 12, maybe. I mean, the Iowa States, Kansas States of the world, like. And I know Oklahoma State was Oklahoma State, and they sandbagged us last year. But nonetheless, I do think or 2 years ago, if you stay healthy, you kind of do some stuff. The level's not that much different, but it's, do you have the depth and do you have the speed?
Yeah. I would say the Mountain West. I'd be Mountain West.
Yeah.
Go. You want that game? You want North Dakota State again? You want to get that rock back?
I know.
You know, bring it on back. Be brothers in arms over there, and not an original thought, but I think there's a kinship to the Montana schools as well.
Yep.
You know, that everybody kind of gravitates over there together. I can't imagine the folks of the Mountain West, the university presidents and athletic directors, maybe not as much the football coaches who haven't been wanting to play these teams for a while, would certainly think it would strengthen the league, at least the quality of the football there. So, I mean, I think it'd be a lot of fun. You don't appear to be on the side of, it's got to be FCS and playing for national championships forever. You appear to see the value in, this is only going to strengthen the brand of the football program and of the university, and because not too many people bring up that enrollment piece. That's interesting. And you can't say all those things without feeling confident, like you could be competitive at that level.
Yes.
You can win some games there.
That's what
the way you think North Dakota State will right away.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I think they will right away. I think the Montana schools would also do it right away. And yes, there will be some bruises. Yes, there'll be some good teams. 100%. That's what you're supposed to do.
Yeah.
But I just see it as, from the FCS perspective, I wish this conference would last forever, because I do think it's pure football. I think it's really pure, good football. Guys care. It's kind of the old school type of football. You have a playoff system. You're playing random teams. It's kind of a cool deal, but it is dying. And the more schools keep jumping up or jumping down, what I would hate to have is this. Let's say the Montana schools go. Let's say Tarleton State goes, and let's say whoever else, UC Davis, I think, is already talking about going, or Sac State leaving.
Sac State's going.
Yeah. Well, then all of a sudden, like, is it really competitive, or are you just the big kid in the sandbox just picking on everybody else? And so that's my only quarry of, like, I don't want to be that guy who just sticks here just to keep winning titles.
Yeah.
At some point, if you're not playing anybody, it's not. People could sense that, and then all of a sudden, like kind of what happened to NDSU, where like there's attendance started dwindling. Well,
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that this place is always rocking and rolling. So
Yeah. By the way, if you were a player right now, or take me back to when you were a player then, I mean, you got to go to Nebraska, you got to go to Minnesota, and I think Montana was definitely a notch up FCS-wise as far as the competitive level of the team, but also the stadium and the bigness of it all. 25,000 or whatever there. So, but if you're a player right now, where would you find yourself wanting to be?
Well, that's a very good question. I would say, and one big thing is this. I'm serious. The players' mental health.
Yeah.
Of, hey, is it really fun to go play in the MAC on a Tuesday night in front of 400 people? Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not. Conference USA.
You don't have to play every Tuesday night. People love to bring that point up. They're not playing every Tuesday night, but
regardless,
I get it. I don't know. And by the way, I didn't mean to interject, but I'm not big on the MAC. I don't know if there's a lot of value in going there. I think it's the Mountain West.
Yeah, I'm right with you.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was getting at was I want to make sure that these guys don't feel like they're getting burned out. We're all sports. If you're traveling.
Yes. Gotcha.
I couldn't imagine going from USC going to play Rutgers on a Saturday, then flying. At some point, it wears you down. And what you don't want to have happen is wear these guys down just for $1. Yeah. So I think the Mountain West would be perfect. Yes, I think flying out of Sioux Falls would be perfect. But at the end of the day, I just want to make sure, and I full trust in Sel, full trust in Barry to make sure that we are picking the right conference.
Yeah.
Because there will be a shakeup here soon. A lot of that stuff you really can't control. So what we can't control is let's go 1-0 and let's get down to Nashville.
Because I think there's still some fans again, I'm not saying all. I think there are some fans who would love to go to the Mountain West and the FBS yesterday, and there are some that still kind of have that old school mentality of, well, you can't play for national championships anymore. Now you're playing to go to the Palmetto Bowl or name the bowl. But I think just seeing the perks that come with North Dakota State that we've already seen of going up to that level, it just looks like, from a player perspective, man, wouldn't that be cool? And wouldn't you like to challenge yourself? Championships are cool, no doubt about it. Not going to ever devalue that. But the week-to-week thing during the actual months where the games are on the schedule, the chance to go to these bigger stadiums to play higher-level teams and higher-level players, I would think most players would want that. But I don't know very many of the players, so I'm living vicariously through you. And not everybody's the same.
No, not everyone's the same, and it's all about. I would say for a lot of these kids, it's the perception of, hey, if I still put up some really good film, if I start here, I play well here, play against some quality opponents, the end goal for a lot of them is going to the NFL. Yeah. And so if you want to go to the NFL, and kudos to NDSU, they send guys. I know USD send. Well, if you are coming to SDSU and you're going to say, hey, I want to make sure I go to the NFL, you come here and you play, and you play a lot of games, so you're playing through the playoffs, you're doing a whole bunch of stuff like that. Probably everyone's a little bit different. Me, personally, it was so cool to go out to Montana and make the first playoff team since 1979. It was so cool for us just to experience it and see it. Yeah. Like that. That was cool for me then. I cannot imagine these guys now who say they went down to Frisco 3 years and whatever, and then now it's Nashville. That looked so much fun last year. Looked like a riot.
Yes.
It's like that's where I want to be next year. So how do we do there? Well, let's find a way to raise some money up.
Well, all we know is 2026. They're going to be doing that. They're going to be they hope to be chasing a national championship. That's they get that end goal and those stars in their eyes right now. I'd love to get your thoughts as a former college football player on what's this Brendan Sorsby thing and how wild that is, because look, I knew some football players in college, and I was just a college kid myself. I've never been a big gambler or sports gambler, but I knew guys who were, and from age 17 to 23, 24 or so, that's an impulsive time.
Yeah.
Binging everything. Not everybody, but binge drinking, binge gambling. You get addictive and things get fun, and I should have just said Brendan Sorsby and let you go, but I took it down this path.
Yeah.
As a guy who played college football, maybe knew a guy or two who liked to gamble a little bit. What'd you make of all this?
I let this be a lesson to the youth. And I'm actually happy The Big 12 stepped up, and some of these other commissioners stepped up and say this is what he was doing was wrong. And I understand addictions. I understand gambling. I understand all of that kind of stuff. For the youth out there, you have the rest of your life to gamble. You have the rest of your life to I don't want to say it because like we're going to a casino to golf, so it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black. But like, hey, we're old now. Like I'm not Brendan Sorsby. But nonetheless, like my thought is just don't do it. It's even more importantly is this. Like, understand who your friends are, too. And understand if you are going to go out to the bars, leave your phones in your pockets. You don't need to go to the bars. You don't need to be making the scene of yourself. Your image matters. And what you found from Sorsby, obviously what he was doing was horrendous and doing a whole bunch of random stuff. But what you find is he's still a dude, he's probably a decent human being, probably a good guy. Just don't put yourself in that limelight. 'Cause a few dumb things can ruin your entire life at this level.
Yeah.
Well,
It's but when you talk about going to the play a golf thing at a casino, and I'm sure a few guys will have some laughs and play some blackjack and whatever else afterward. We are adults. We certainly think we can all at this point in our lives we understand what moderation is, and we're sitting in a bar here. We got all the liquor at our disposal, and they're happy to take our money as much as we want. And, it's always up to us. It's a little harder at that age.
Yeah.
And he's an extreme case. But it's interesting how the conference kind of policed itself there.
Yeah.
I mean, from a competitive standpoint, what did you make of all that? Of how it came to be that he's not playing. They kicked him out without kicking him out.
Let's just address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
Like that federal judge granted the injunction to let him play, but he's like a huge Texas Tech supporter. Like, come on, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, quacks like a duck, like we already know where this was going. And so, like, my thought, kudos to them. I understand they want him to play really bad. I get that.
Yeah.
But at some point, too, you have to be accountable for your actions. And kudos to the Big 12. And it's not like this kid's life is completely over. He's going to jump into the supplemental draft, and he'll make a team.
A team's going to draft him.
A team will take him up.
If they don't, he's going to get on a roster. He's 6'3", 230. He's mobile. He's accurate.
Yep.
And he'll be at the very least a backup for a few years, make some really good money, and maybe even something better than that.
100%. So, like, his life is not completely over.
Yeah.
So, like, don't. But I was happy that they addressed it, and what I found was kind of most, they addressed it, and I thought it was kind of a up and down manner. They should have said, no, he's not playing, he's done. And then we probably wouldn't even be talking about this. Versus UND when they self-reported tampering, and they kind of came down with a much harsher penalty on them versus Texas Tech. And so I'm a lawyer. I just want uniform rules so you say, hey, this is what happens, this is the punishment. This is what happens, this is the punishment. Instead of, I don't know, the ups and downs of it.
Well, anytime you're playing or coaching in that organization, in a sport sanctioned by the NCAA, you could just take them to court, you're going to win.
Yeah.
That's just what happens now. As a lawyer, do you understand why that's happened? Why that continues to happen? Can you give us a layman's perspective?
I mean, like, give me an example.
I don't know. It just seems like that's your example. That's what everybody was saying last week is he got off the hook because. And by the way, it wasn't the NCAA. I mean, the NCAA was trying to not let him play,
right?
But then you just sue the NCAA, and a lot of it, it goes all the way back to Ed O'Bannon and NIL and why it's all
and the House settlement and all this kind of stuff.
Guns ablazing,
And that's, I think, the worst thing the NCAA did, in my viewpoint, would be they let everything out. Fine, everyone will get paid, everyone will do whatever. I mean, as soon as that sand gets out of the sandbox, it's almost impossible to put it all back in. And so now, as you try to reel this in, I know they keep saying, there's a cap of $20 million per team. Well, it's for what the university could pay them, but what if there's some big boosters or third-party NIL stuff out there that now all of a sudden they could pay them too? So it's not. That's what sucks about football, about college athletics in particular right now. Like I saw the basketball kid getting paid $6 million to go to Kentucky or Duke. It's ruining the game that was once pure. Now all of a sudden it's just about money. Who's at the deepest pockets to pay these kids?
Last year we kind of dove into the NIL aspect and how things work, how it's different from obviously when you played even at SDSU, and so I kind of want to drum it up just for people who missed that, because I think it is really interesting. You're part of an organization that raises money for the football program to do with it what it needs to do to support itself and the student athletes. You're not raising NIL money for the JFPA. There are other groups that are doing that. I would certainly think there are some players who are contributing to NIL funds, because you want to tap into that, those guys who have a bunch of dough. But the one different, listening back today, that I found like to be a perfect micro example is how, the summer jobs that you guys had, and the fact that this is how, the NIL at SDSU is not Nebraska, Alabama, Texas. It's not. You're not going to see kids with millions of dollars. And we've had Justin Sell on this to explain as far as he wants to explain it about it. They're trying to be very intentional. Like, they're really promoting businesses with their name, image, and likeness. It's not a lot of money, but some of them do get to live more comfortably than guys like you used to do it before this all started. But that summer job thing, just because, tell me that whole thing.
Yeah.
What's going on right now in their lives because of NIL, even at a place like SDSU? That's just that NIL has changed things. It sounds like for the better.
It has, and I will give Coach Jackson and Coach Rice a huge credit. And, Ryan Christie and a lot of guys at the foundation, fundraising, Coach Stig. A lot of these cats now, though, they work out from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., get fed in between great food, great meat that the JFPA donates. Then all afternoon they just get to go play golf. Or they might have an internship at the golf course. They might have something where back when we played, you were working out at 5 a.m. till 8 o'clock, and then all of a sudden at 8:05 or whatever, you had to go screaming home, shower up, and we went. We actually worked laying carpet for Ope Niemeyer for years. Great dude, but there's a whole bunch of football dudes, so that your best friend's laying carpet. At some point, it sucked. It's like now these kids, yes, you get great breakfast. Yes, you get great food. You have one of the best strength and conditioning staffs in the country. You have all the resources afforded to you, and you don't have to work.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good deal.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good deal.
So I really don't know. So do most of them not work?
I'm
sure some of them do. Some kids like to work. I mean,
I would say this. I bet you half the team has a job.
Yeah.
40% has a job. And what it is, though, a lot of guys are working at the country club or working at a golf course or working at a call center just to make some ends meet and make a little extra money. And, one thing, as you brought up, JFPA is not an NIL group.
Right.
But we did open up a C3 account, and our goal is to have every single kid on the team have a full ride scholarship.
Wow.
So that's that's something we're really pushing, because a lot of us, I walked on for 3 years. There's a lot of guys who walked on for a long time and got $500. A full ride scholarship would mean the world to a lot of these young kids, and so we're pushing it. A lot
of them have partial scholarships too.
Yep.
And that's the case. Obviously, the lower the level you get. I had two boys who played football at Northern State for a year, partial scholarship. I think one, if not both of them, also had a little bit of an academic scholarship to help them out as well. But it was it was just a percentage of their tuition was paid for by football. And the second they decided they just didn't want to play football anymore, they weren't there anymore. Because
that's real money too.
The scholarship afforded them to go to school. That still exists.
Yes, and that's talking to Coach about this of having a JFPA scholarship or having a JF. Because that matters. Having those guys realize that the former players are raising money to give you a full ride scholarship. I would say that we'd be the first program in the country that's actually pushing that. We'd be the first program in the country that actually did that. And we'll get there. But now all of a sudden, it's going to make it way harder for you to transfer, way harder for you to say, hey, look, these guys gave me a full ride scholarship, and I'm sitting here, maybe there's money elsewhere, but I got a full ride here. And this is a really good university, really good academic programs, really good sports programs, some of the best fishing in the world, all around 15 minutes away from Brookings. Hunting. Don't get me started here.
When's the last time you chatted with your old teammate Jimmy Rogers?
Oddly, just the other night, Sunday night, we were talking about the UFC fights.
Okay. Yeah. Because that's been a big change in the years since we
and good for him too. He went out to Washington State, which he said, "Hey, look, they're struggling, or they had some issues out there just as well as what we have financially and whatever." But I've known Jimmy forever, and I'm so happy that he's at Iowa State. I'm so happy that he's crushing it and doing really well. Talk about a big jump up from Pac-12, Pac-2 to now you're in the Big 12. Like,
Yeah.
that's awesome for him.
I'm hoping to have him on. We're trying to make that happen. But so again, vicariously through you, can you explain? It was a weird season at Washington State. They basically had an independent schedule.
Yep.
And it was just a mishmash of teams. But man, they're playing Ole Miss and Virginia down to the bell.
Yep.
But then they'd lose to somebody they shouldn't lose to, and it was just kind of all over the place. Finished 500 and went to a bowl.
Yep.
What kind of accomplishment was that, knowing whatever he was working with there? You would know better than
thing
us.
as what Dan was working with here, where Coach Dickert went to Wake Forest, took a pile of guys. Like it wasn't anything. Like it was the same kind of scenario where guys followed, and he would bring guys, and so Jimmy had to bring some guys, and it was kind of the shuttle of guys going back and forth. And for them, they beat Idaho the first game of the year, and it got heated late. They had a really tough schedule. Yeah. North Texas was pretty good. I know they got sandblasted by them too, but nonetheless, really good early. But at the end of it, I think Jimmy's coaching and Jimmy's leadership really came through, and a lot of those guys did. They hung in close. Yeah. They did a very good job. I just think then when Jimmy got the phone call to go to Iowa State, because that whole thing with Penn State, talk about a railroad effect, but good for him.
2 years in a row for him.
Yeah, moving just boom, boom.
Yeah, well, just not the moves, but the old coach taking a bunch of his players with him.
Yep. Oh yeah, I've thought about that. Yeah.
So what is it about him that especially as a head coach, but going back to the playing days, it gives you a belief that he can be successful at Iowa State, which at times can be a tough place to win a bunch of games?
No, and I would say, like, Jimmy's competitiveness. Like, I've never met a guy, when we're playing ping pong at 2 a.m. at my house, like, I've never met a guy who wanted to win more in his life. Like, he's attention to detail, super competitive. There was times where he'd be damn near sleeping on campus in his office studying film about how to beat this team, and I do think the world of Jimmy, and I think he'll set the standard at Iowa State. It might take him a year.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean, I don't even know their schedule yet. But
it's hard to know anything in college football anymore.
I would just say I would say that he will have that team prepared, and they will just his drive, his competitiveness. He'll be all right.
Do you have a favorite across enemy line story with him? You're on the offensive line. He's over there playing linebacker practice.
Yeah, there was times in spring ball where you're fighting, we're face mask. I mean, I'll say when I was playing. Me and Jimmy, I just did not like him. He didn't like me just because O-line linebacker, our O-line coach there was just so much hatred and animosity. And it wasn't until he was a captain where I was like, I finally see what this guy's doing. I finally understand this guy's trying to get the best out of me. So, like, we're going to be yelling at me, MFing me, doing all this stuff. And then when we played Montana, we're down. We were up big, and the wheels just came off in a terrible fashion. He's to me away. And he is screaming at me. I can't hear him. I'm like, dude, but like, he singled me out just because, hey, look, I'm just trying to jack up everybody in the old line. It was so loud and so raucous, I couldn't hear him. I'm like, dude, all right. I hope it's good. If not, sorry to hear that. Like, I got to go out there. Like, I have no idea what you're saying, but like there's just so many good Jimmy stories about. He was a hell of a player for being 5'4". Like, he was really. I actually hope he sees that too.
Yeah. Well, no, but that says something when a linebacker's coming up to the offensive line.
Yeah.
And just the gesture of that is tells you something. All right, last one before I forget. You're also doing something for the volleyball team for the JFPA coming up in September.
That's the plan. We still got to iron out some details and still got to get something squared away. But how cool is that? They're bringing in the Huskers to play volleyball.
It'll be real interesting to see how much red is
Trust
there.
Arena. Yeah, and there's been a lot of people that I've known throughout the years have hit me up looking for tickets. And first question, what color are you going to wear? Because if you're wearing red, I don't have any tickets. But if you're wearing blue, maybe we can help you find some. But so what we're hoping to do is plan some sort of event, whether it be a tailgate, whether it be whatever. And we got the largest smoker in the Midwest sitting on a tailgate, 1,000-gallon pit smoker. The thing is absolutely beautiful. We're hoping to have that closer to the volleyball game, so that way we could cook food for the volleyball team, and all proceeds would literally go to volleyball itself. We don't need the money. We just want to make sure that when people come there, if there's a way to make a little bit more off of them or make a difference for the volleyball team, why not do it?
Yep. Well, that'll be the biggest volleyball game probably in Brookings for SDSU ever, and so why not harness that?
100%.
In September when the weather's good and you can tailgate for a volleyball game. That's pretty good.
Oh, that sounds like a great time.
Hey, good luck with the camp and the golf tournament, and this is awesome. I always love talking to you.
Appreciate you, John. No, thank you for having me on.
Yep, it's always great. Ryan McKnight for video producer Cordell Wright. I'm John, and for the folks at the Gateway Lounge, cheers.
Cheers.
You need anything else, John?
No, I think I'm good, Greg. I think I'm going to tap out.
All right. Have a good night.